am not crazy! I am dating a supermodel zoologist!
Frasier's love life had more ups and downs than a kangaroo on a pogo stick. For Frasier, it was about finding the perfect match.
Oh. What do you think of me now?
With every high and low he experienced, the fans were always there for him and had plenty of their own opinions. Let's start with arguably the greatest, Lilith Stern. We've known her for so long, since back in Boston. She's Frasier's intellectual equal, always telling it like it is and seeing through his performative antics.
Allow me to rebut. What a crop!
It is not!
It is so!
Lilith stands apart from the other women because she isn't just another lover. She's his ex-wife and the mother of his son, Frederick. By the time she appears in Frasier for the first time, Frasier and she have already been divorced for a year.
Dad, you never liked Lilith.
She's weird.
She is not weird.
Oh!
In season 1's The Show Where Lilith Comes Back, Lilith returns with a love letter she found from Frasier. The only problem is that she's a year too late, and Frasier's feelings have changed completely since he wrote it.
Seeing you now, I realize how much I've missed you.
Frasier's moved on, and this breaks Lilith. But when Frasier goes back to apologize and check if she is okay, old feelings get the better of them, and they end up in bed together.
You can always try.
However, Frasier realizes it was a huge mistake, and a little misunderstanding leads to Frasier accidentally revealing the harsh truth.
For us to even consider getting back together, it's just the stupidest thing two people could do.
I meant the eggs. I ordered poached, not fried.
Lilith came looking for the old Frasier, but she met a new one that had moved past their old relationship. Frasier eventually found out that Lilith's feelings weren't really about love either. They were about loneliness.
Why, I convinced myself that I was still in love with you.
You mean you're not?
No, I'm not.
Lilith makes a number of appearances throughout the show. Her cameos always add a bit of icy cool and usually some drama. She even has a one-night stand with Niles, which somehow doesn't become nearly as awkward as you'd think it would, unlike Frasier's next romance, Madeline Marshall. To a lot of Frasier fans, Madeline was the one that got away. From their similar interests and nearly identical mannerisms to their electrifying chemistry, it always felt like the two were made for each other.
No.
Well, look, this was a great idea, but we're both obviously too busy.
But their story also showcased Frasier's supernatural knack for romantic self-sabotage. Frasier meets Madeline in the Season 2 episode Adventure in Paradise Part 1, after Roz calls one of the gorgeous women on Seattle's 100 Hottest People magazine, proposing a date with Frasier. To everyone's surprise, Madeline actually agrees.
Why don't I just come right out and say it? Would you be so good as to have dinner with me tonight?
Not only do they have similar pasts, but their taste for the finer things in life is in sync. And Frasier finds himself smitten after their first date.
I'm divorced also.
Oh, well, we have so much in common.
I caught him cheating with my sister.
Fabulous!
Madeline brings out a side of Frasier fans hadn't seen in a while. But things start going downhill during their trip to Bora Bora, after they run into Lilith with her new boyfriend.
How long are you going to stay?
Until Tuesday.
We're here till Wednesday.
Frasier completely forgets about having a good time with his new girlfriend and directs all his attention to outdoing Lilith and her man, making things pretty awkward for Madeline.
Well, obviously you don't need me.
At the end of the day, Frasier clearly has issues he needs to resolve, so Madeline moves on from him.
Take all the time you need. This whole thing's just a little too complicated for me.
She mightn't have been an all-time fan favorite, but Madeline was definitely a missed opportunity. Sadly, Frasier just couldn't get out of his own way. Speaking of which, Faye Moscowitz. To many fans, Faye was the girlfriend that hooped in and out of the show too quickly. And many still debate till this day whether Frasier actually made the right call in choosing her over Cassandra.
Yes, I want to take our relationship to the next level. I just want to be with you.
Wow.
Frasier meets Faye after running into a very enthusiastic Jewish mother, who somehow talks him into meeting up with her daughter. Expecting the worst, Frasier finds himself in a coffee shop awaiting a blind date with Niles on the line as his escape call. But it turns out he doesn't need it, and she doesn't need hers either.
Well, hello. How did you know it was me?
You had that horror-stricken look of someone who's met my mother.
Oh, no.
Frasier and Faye hit it off quickly, and she brings out a side of Frasier fans haven't really seen, a side that is passionate and caring, even caring enough to lie. When Faye's mom stops by Frasier's on her way to the airport, Frasier, Martin, and Niles have to pretend to be Jewish for a fan-favorite scene of the series.
I really appreciate you doing this.
Oh, it's no problem.
I can't believe I'm actually asking you to pretend to be Jewish on Christmas Eve.
It's all right, really.
Faye then re-enters the picture after a month-long trip, when Frasier is just starting a relationship with another woman, Cassandra. In the episode When a Man Loves Two Women, Frasier finds himself torn between the two of them, but he eventually chooses Faye.
I haven't dumped anyone.
What? You mean you're dating both of them?
No, I didn't intend to. It's just that, well...
But things soon start getting messy when Frasier repeatedly calls Faye Cassandra, even forgetting Faye's name completely at one point. As with many of Frasier's romances, it implodes quickly and dramatically. In this case, Faye and Cassandra eventually meet and figure it all out.
I didn't get a chance to meet you before. I'm Faye. Oh, how do you do?
Honestly, it was probably for the best. Faye was too good for this schmuck. Moving on to the fourth on our list, we have Kate Costas. Frasier and Kate had the classic enemies to lovers story arc that fans couldn't get enough of. She arrives on the scene as the new station manager at KACL, a no-nonsense kind of woman. She butts heads with Frasier over the KACL team's pay. She wants to push it down while Frasier, seeing himself as the hero of the common man, fights for a pay rise. In Sleeping with the Enemy, everything comes to a head when Kate refuses to offer the yearly bonus to the off-air staff. Frasier enters Kate's office ready to stand up for his team, but you could cut the sexual tension with a knife, and they end up locking lips in no time.
You intractable despot!
Blowhard!
Tyrant!
Ass!
True!
Kate excites Frasier because she is as smart as he is, if not more so. Fans finally get to see a more spontaneous and reckless version of Frasier. He even refers to himself as a bad boy.
That crossed my mind.
For once in my cautious, button-down life, I felt like a real bad boy.
Their undeniable attraction leads to a steamy and secret office romance that lasts up until Kate gets a job offer in Chicago. Ironically, it is not until they are literally at the airport that they really start talking and realize they are nowhere near as compatible as they thought.
Life on a ranch raising horses. I've always pictured myself in a penthouse raising children.
For fans, Kate revealed a more spontaneous side of Frasier, lustful, passionate, and impulsive. She turned him into a bad boy, and she was his naughty girl. But she wasn't the only naughty girl in Frasier's love life, because next we have Lana Lindley. Lana was the woman that made a lot of fans realize something. Inside every successful psychiatrist, there's an insecure teenager trying not to get shoved into a locker. In Big Crane on Campus, Frasier runs into his old high school crush at a coffee shop. She recognizes him and rolls up to his table.
She's coming over! She's coming over! She's coming over!
Excuse me, didn't we go to high school together?
Frasier and Lana start going out, but the show reveals very quickly that Frasier is with Lana less because of genuine attraction, and more as a personal quest to rewrite his own high school history.
Would love to.
Wonderful. I'm going out with Lana Lindley!
Frasier sees Lana as a trophy, a prize he couldn't have dreamed of having back then. He soon discovers that the prize really isn't what he wanted. Lana turns out to be loud, aggressive, and a chronic smoker, basically the anti-Frasier.
Put your brother on! Put your brother on the phone!
He's about to call things off when she mentions going back to high school for their gym teacher's retirement dinner. And all Frasier can think about is walking down the halls with the most popular girl in school on his arm. Eventually, however, Frasier realized that he didn't want to be like the superficial jerks that bullied him in high school and comes clean to Lana.
Why not?
Well, because I came here for the wrong reason. So all the cool kids would see me with the school's most popular girl and...
But it doesn't end there, as there's no way that Lana is going to be seen by her old friends all alone.
What we're gonna do, you're gonna take my arm, you're gonna escort me in that room, we're gonna dance, make out like freshmen, and leave with your hand on my ass. You got it?
Yes, ma'am. Before we jump into Frasier's next flame, why don't you hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on more awesome Frasier videos? Next up, Samantha Pierce. Samantha Pierce was definitely not a fan favorite. In fact, many viewers were pretty unpleasantly surprised to see Frasier take up such a submissive role in a relationship. She was unlike any other woman Frasier had been with. Bold, assertive, and living in a rarefied world that Frasier could only dream of. It all starts when Frasier is forced to return a bag he got for Roz, after some extremely honest feedback.
Oh, it's not the purse. Although I do hate it.
However, the seller drives a hard bargain until Samantha shows up and takes charge of the situation.
Thank you. That was very impressive.
Oh, well, you should see me return something hard like a house or a kidney.
She's a defense lawyer who is always on the clock. She also makes a lot more than Frasier, and in their short relationship, it always feels like she's the one wearing the pants. Frasier asks her out for dinner, but Samantha wants to skip the meal and hop straight to the bedroom. The tables have been turned. As the relationship goes on, we see Frasier playing a more submissive role as she grows more and more dominant.
Well, that's what you said yesterday, but you forgot.
I told you I was sorry about that. I promise. I'll call.
She hardly ever has time for him, but makes up for it with flowers and gifts. The picture becomes clear to Frasier at a dinner, when all the men go to talk and he's left behind with the housewives.
We haven't really been able to get much time together, but she assures me that'll all change as soon as the trial.
Their relationship didn't work because Samantha treated Frasier more like a side piece and less like a real lover. Frasier might have loved the fancy gifts and famous friends, but playing second fiddle just wasn't for him. Fans may not have liked Samantha, but she was a ray of sunshine compared to our next ex. Diane Chambers. When fans rank their most hated love interest, Diane is right at the top. From abandoning Frasier at the altar in Cheers to turning his pain into a play, fans despised her. Diane was the nightmare ex, dragging Frasier's dark past into the light. Frasier and Diane were in a relationship back in his Boston days, and she ended up leaving him at the altar for another man. This broke Frasier in a way he still struggles to process, and her arrival in the show takes him totally off guard. In the show where Diane comes back, Diane is back in town for the performance of her play, and she invites herself over for dinner. Old feelings get the best of Frasier, and he finds himself falling for Diane once again, despite his father's warning.
You're not falling for her again, are you?
What if I were?
That woman dumped you at the altar.
She ends up inviting him to the play, and much to Frasier's horror, it's a reenactment of his worst nightmare.
This whole getting left at the altar thing, I just don't know what I'm supposed to be feeling. I may be able to illuminate that for you.
This triggers a meltdown for Frasier, which makes Diane realize just how badly she hurt him all those years ago. When the dust settles, this ends up being a story of closure.
And she's touched him in ways she can never imagine. He's glad that she was in his life.
Let's roll on to the next lover, Claire French. Claire was another love interest seemingly handcrafted for Frasier and is seen by many as one of his biggest ever fumbles. Claire French is introduced in Season 8's semi-decent proposal as Lana's friend, who Frasier and Niles run into while shopping. They instantly bond over German and their shared love of the arts.
I mean, if you don't mind subtitles.
Mind them. I prefer them.
Claire asks Frasier to bring Lana over for a surprise birthday party, and after a chaotic night, Frasier gets to know Claire more and realizes she is his exact match in every department. He learns that Claire plans to travel to London and explore the arts, so he blurts out his request.
Finally, I just gave up, and tomorrow I'm going alone for 10 days. Life's just too short.
Go out with me.
She fits right into his routine and his apartment, and is loved by his family. But things go off track when Frasier lets his own insecurities get a hold of him. While on vacation, Frasier has a clear, explicit dream about Lana, much to his own surprise. This is a woman he thought he'd long gotten over. Frasier lets his neuroses win and breaks things off with Claire, all because of his feelings for Lana, which probably aren't even real.
A woman who by all conventional measures is perfect for me, and yet I've just had a vivid sexual dream.
Ultimately, Frasier got a reality check from the subconscious images of the women in his life, who explain why he lost one of the best things he ever had.
Well, Claire was everything we ever looked for in a woman.
And that terrified you.
Because inevitably she would have left you.
And so, of course, you ran away.
Claire was definitely one of the good ones, but let's get into the ugly. Julia Wilcox. Julia never failed to piss off everyone in the room, including the fans. Of all Frasier's girlfriends, she was probably the least loved. Julia and Frasier had a short romance, but it was still far too long. Julia just so happened to waltz into Frasier's life at a time when he believed he was struggling with commitment.
But Frasier, I'm not looking for just some office romance. I don't see the point in getting involved unless it's heading somewhere.
That's exactly where I am in my life, too.
Arrogant, rude, and bratty in a way that rubbed pretty much everyone the wrong way, many fans wondered why the show thought this dynamic would make for a good relationship. But it definitely revealed Frasier's desperation for any kind of connection at the time.
That's exactly the kind of flaw that the old Frasier would have seized upon as a pretext to end the relationship. But
In the episode A Man, a Plan, and a Gal, Julia, Frasier and Julia have just gotten together and find themselves having dinner with the whole family. In the short time Julia spends with them, she ruins Niles and Daphne's plans to announce their pregnancy, spoils Martin's appetite, and accuses Daphne and Niles of cheating during a game of Pictionary.
Oh my God, that is the worst drawing I've ever seen. I mean, even these cheaters wouldn't have gotten that one. Cheaters? Saw you guys mouthing at each other.
Frasier finally snaps when she uses his hand towels on her face and finally tells her to get out.
I want my purse.
And my hand towel!
This romance revealed how sometimes desperation can lead us to making the worst decisions. But Julia was far from Frasier's only bad decision. And if you've made it to this point of the video without leaving a thumbs up, you're even more rude than Julia. Anne Hodges. The minute Anne stepped into the show, fans already knew she wasn't the one. In fact, they were mostly just shocked that he was desperate enough to go on a date with her. Frasier already knows he isn't attracted to Anne, but Roz convinces him he needs to keep his dating muscles from atrophying.
You need a placeholder. Someone you can go out with and just keep your dating muscles toned. That way you'll be ready when Miss Right comes along. And
Surprisingly, Frasier comes around to the idea but regrets it the minute he spots Anne on their date. Unlike Frasier, Anne is a salt-of-the-earth person. As the date goes on, Frasier quickly realizes he doesn't need a placeholder. At least not this placeholder.
You ever do that? Make a big mistake and want to go back in time and just do something different?
To make matters worse, he ends up running into Kenny, who is accompanied by a beautiful woman, Liz Wright. She is a cultured art curator, the exact type Frasier goes crazy for. And he can't wait for his date with Anne to be over.
It's lovely to meet you, Miss Wright.
He lies to them, saying that his date with Anne is actually a business meeting, and after rushing her through dinner and throwing some money into her hands for a cab, he runs over to pull up a seat next to his latest dream woman. Everything blows up in his face when Anne walks back into the restaurant and catches him with Liz, exposing Frasier's lies and ultimately ruining his chances with Liz.
I thought you left our date to go take care of your brother.
Date? I thought you said you were just wrapping up a business meeting.
But let's close the list with Frasier's last and arguably most notable love interest, Charlotte Connor. Many fans never saw Frasier and Charlotte's relationship coming, but she ended up being one of his most beloved girlfriends. In season 11, episode The Match Game, Frasier had just about had it with his chaotic love life. In his mind, he's already dated all the eligible single ladies in Seattle when he stumbles upon a matchmaker, Charlotte. After wrestling with his pride, he reluctantly hires her in a bid to improve his dwindling dating odds.
The well is dry. The cupboard is bare. There are no more fish in the sea.
In this episode, we see a more vulnerable side of Frasier, as he actually accepts defeat and seeks help. But things don't really go as planned, as all Charlotte's matches turn out to be disastrous in one way or another.
Is something wrong?
No. I was just admiring your ensemble.
Thanks. I made it.
Frasier eventually confronts Charlotte, accusing her of running a scam. But when she comes clean about her business and personal struggles, this unfortunate mishap turns into a first date, and the matchmaker becomes the match. Frasier and Charlotte have a pretty different dynamic from the rest of the women in his life, because Charlotte gets a glimpse of his neurotic, insecure side before they start dating, not after. She falls for the real Frasier, warts and all, and their connection quickly grows. However, as quickly as they fall in love, things also start to fall apart. Charlotte has to move to Chicago for work, and Frasier is left with another painful goodbye. But this one wasn't for long.
Good luck in Chicago.
In the season finale, Frasier claims he's moving to San Francisco for a job offer, but he just so happens to land in Chicago, where their love story truly begins. Don't forget to comment who your favorite girlfriend is, hit that subscribe button, and we'll see you in the next video.